If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Yeah.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
All right, guys.
Harakiri for the sky.
Harakiri for the sky.
Thanatos. This one is for Middle Earth. Or Archero. I'm not sure. Comments by Middle Earth. It's Middle Earth. I can't empathize, but I can sympathize. I feel sorry for people who conclude that life has no meaning and is pointless. I see how they can get there, as life is tough and we all die physically. Big fan of Harakiri for the Sky regardless. From 2016 album number 3, Trauma, their highly acclaimed 3rd album. Let's check it out. Oh, the country of origin is Austria. Location is Vienna, Salzburg. Status is they are still active.
You know Peter?
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's from.
And they were formed in 2011. The genre is post-black metal, and the themes are depression, addiction, and death. Years active was from 2011 to the present time. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Harakiri for the Sky! What's the name of the song?
The name of this song
Funeral
is
Dreams.
Thanatos.
Why does it say Funeral Dreams here?
I don't know, because the name over here, it also says the lyrics, Funeral Dreams. So maybe Thanatos means...
Thanatos is probably the album.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Harakiri for the Sky. Let's go. That was... Who's it been again?
Oh my gosh. Oh, what an amazing song.
Looks like that was
Harakiri for the Sky.
All right.
Okay.
Looks like you're about to unload. Go for
it. I
it.
am. So lyrically, I wasn't following the lyrics very much because I was just like wanted to close my eyes and just vibe with the feeling of this song. And for me, the connection that was made was so there's a concept in Christianity. It's called speaking in tongues, and makes some people feel very uncomfortable. But essentially,
this is gonna be very interesting. I would not have thought in a million years this is where you were going with it, but okay.
Essentially, what happens is God gives the person a special language, and the person speaks the language, but they don't necessarily understand like cognitively what it is that they're saying, but like it vibes their spirit. And there's a verse in Romans, I'm just going to read it to you guys. I actually like the way that the verse reads too. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what it is that we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself makes intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. That's the part that I like. With groanings which can't be uttered. And like, that's what it's like when you have that prayer language. Like you're praying and you're talking, and you understand that it's a language, and you don't understand what the individual words mean, but the spirit itself, like you just feel like it's vibing, and like it's getting out what you felt like you couldn't. And to me, this music is another version of that, because lyrically what they're saying, I think, was coming from their minds and what it is that they were thinking. But I think sonically, like what they were doing musically with the song, it sounded to me like groanings which can't be uttered, like what was coming from internally inside of them. And then it goes to that like sounds that want to be heard sort of discussion, like do sounds want to be heard? Where do sounds originate? Do they originate in yourself, or do they come from the somewhere else and you're able to draw from them and like put
the noosphere,
put sound to them? Yeah, like what is
that's
that?
The current theory is that we're getting it from the noosphere, which is just a souped up way of saying the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are... It's just so funny to me. Like,
a rose by any other name.
Yeah,
it's
like, okay, it's a noosphere. It's not the spiritual world. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? What? Okay, and how is that? How is that different from what we're saying? Yeah, like I agree. I think a lot of music is prayerful, and people don't know it, and that's why I've been in very dark metal shows. I've talked about this and experienced God's presence very palpably, and I've been in religious environments where I haven't
felt a lot of darkness.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. It's real. I don't know how to talk about this.
Do it.
Well, somebody was talking about like getting yourself in a certain kind of mode of prayer that opens up. I'm not going to say like opens up a portal. I'll say it. You can get yourself to a point where your mind is able to perceive things to you that like there's things in front of you right now. Like for example, when you guys are looking at the screen, because I'm looking at it right now, all you guys see is the text, and then you've got the lyrics kind of like here. You've got this rewound. That's not current. That's on the one screen. But there's a whole bunch of other things that I'm seeing on my screen right now that you guys don't have access to.
Up
right?
to date.
And it manipulates how you guys see and hear us. I'm at the controls. All you're seeing is what I want you to see, but there's a whole bunch of other controls here that you can't see. And so what I'm saying is that's what's happening in reality. We are seeing a projection of something. We're not seeing the complete picture. And so what this person was saying is you can get yourself to a spiritual state to where your mind begins to perceive, wait a second, there's other things going on.
Yeah.
And what she said was really fascinating. She said that the gurus tell people that what they're seeing is a distraction. So like all the hocus pocus, the demons, the angels, the supernatural shit that you see when you're in that state of consciousness, they're saying that's a distraction.
Yeah.
You got to go even deeper beyond that to get to the center of what the real thing is. But like most of us are trying to engage in the distraction. Like, oh, I took DMT and I saw these machine nails and all this. It was a really fascinating thing to hear this person say, like, yeah, like we've known about that for X amount of years, and like the literature is like that's a distraction. Stay focused on the goal. And that's just a very weird, like, thing to me, because it's like, we're in a Western context where people, like, laugh at the spiritual realm, although, like, now
It's changing.
it's changing.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But, like, so if you're coming from an environment where there's nothing happening in the spiritual world, there are no spiritual entities, everything that we can see is there, and if we can't see it, it's not real. It's so childish to me, but okay. So when we engage with those beings, it's like, oh my God. But if you come from a culture where that's assumed, that the spiritual world is assumed, and that demons and angels are assumed, or jinn, whatever you want to call them, those guys are like, yeah, we know about those things, but look past those, because those aren't the thing. Mm-hmm. And so it was really, really interesting, like, looking at what this guy was saying lyrically. The poems I wrote for the last few years were nothing but vague prophecies. Yeah. But they abode what they promised, so be careful what you wish for, you might get it. So he's writing about, and this is kind of the theme for the night, like, you want something really bad, and then you get it, but it's not what you thought it was, but the price that you paid to get it, you can't get that back. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Some guys, they just give up on living and start dying little by little, piece by piece. Some guys bury their hopes beneath disrooted trees. That is a good line. Burying your hopes beneath disrooted trees, meaning you are hoping in something that has no real foundation, that the minute a storm comes is going to collapse it. And the fact of the matter is that's a lot of the reasons why we are so suicidal, etc., etc. It's because you've built your life on something that has an obviously faulty foundation that is not going to sustain the weight of your life or your soul, and that shit collapses, and then you go, I should just kill myself. And what this guy is saying is, you're burying your hopes beneath disrooted trees. So how about you recalibrate and you say, okay, what is something I need a worldview. I need a philosophy that will get me through 9/11, divorces, and miscarriages. Like, I need a philosophy that has that wired into it. What I don't want is a philosophy that says your life will be good if things are going good. Because you have control of about 2% of the circumstances around you. Okay? I don't know if you've noticed that. Anybody that's been, like, plugged into the political world or whatever, like, you start to realize that your area of influence over shit is very, very small. And so people, you have to make a decision, because this world, especially if you're on the Western side of the world, your point of view is not going to be taken seriously. You're not going to be looked upon, right? So you got to settle it within yourself what your guiding philosophy is.
Yep.
But it's got to be rooted in something deeper than the surface. That's what a root is, right? When he talks about rootless trees, if your view and your person is, if you could see all of me by just this projection, then I'm a shallow person. There ought to be a whole bunch of things about me that are below the surface that a person would have to dig to find. That's what it means to have roots. But the deeper those roots go, the more sturdy the tree is, the better, you're going to get the water and all the shit that you need. And so that's a very important lyric, man, right there. Some guys bury their hopes beneath disrooted trees. And then you think to yourself, well, why would you do that? Yeah. And you're like, well, there's buried treasure, right? Yeah. Back in the day when we were kids, there's buried treasure, so you bury it and all the rest of it. But what are you actually calling your treasure is really the issue. Because your poverty or your being rich is all contingent on what your currency is, right? So if my currency is love and relationships, then I would say, I'm just going by my perception. A guy like Donald Trump is extremely poor, because my perception of Mr. Trump is that everybody around him is around him because of monetary reasons. That's a rootless tree. If some horrible financial situation happened to Mr. Trump and he lost all his money, all those people around him, would they still be there? Yeah. That would be an example of a rootless tree. You got friendships that disintegrate after one argument. That's a rootless tree. Now, you can play the blame game of why you and your friend aren't around anymore, or you can take some responsibility and say, okay, where was I? So that line, the rootless tree thing, is a secret to living and dying and being happy or miserable. It really, really is, in my view.
Because I've never seen a person who tries to root their entire life in something that's like above surface level that didn't crash and burn miserably. Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons why, you know, it's one of the reasons why when I see atheists say things like religion will be gone in 20 years, I'm like, man, we will never not have religion, because it doesn't matter what you call it. We all know we're going somewhere. We all know there's a destiny somewhere. We just don't know what that is. But it's not a song you enjoy. I
enjoyed it, Sonic, like how it sounded.
Right. Like,
lyrically, I wasn't like reading the lyrics, so.
Yeah.
But like I just felt like that there was something else. There was something else being communicated through the sound than there was through the words. They, to me, were almost two different songs. This line I thought was interesting. My memories got stolen, so hail to the thief.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept for me, because I also have a lot of stolen memories. They're gone. But sometimes they come back to me. Like whole bunches of my childhood are gone. Like years, like whole years. Like I have like a few memories. And I think like lots of people are like that, but I think it's an unnatural amount of memories that are gone. But when I read that line, so hail to the thief, I do think that there are circumstances that you could point to somebody and say X, Y, and Z happened, and so they're responsible for these memories being gone because, you know, coping mechanisms or whatever, people will block stuff out. But I also think, you know, hail to the thief, like I'm really trying to focus like this portion of my life on like personal responsibility and stuff, because you lose a lot if there's somebody else, if there's a thief to blame, instead of recognizing where you've been a thief to your own self. And like recognition and healing, like facing something and finding healing for it, and acceptance of this is something that happened, or, you know, this was like acknowledging it for what it is, like this is wrong, this is unfair, this is whatever, like whatever the situation is, and being able to kind of like put those things to bed or put those things to rest, I think is helpful. And to the degree that I've been able to do that with some of the things, I've found memories returning to me. So I don't think memories are gone and lost forever, but I think that we can be the greatest thief to our own lives and to our own well-being by decisions and choices we make. And when he says irony causes laughter, but laughter causes pain, I think that laughter that comes as a coping for pain is painful. But I do think that there's such a thing as true laughter that comes from a place of joy. And I do think that you can find that place even in the midst of sorrows, as you find healing and as you like find yourself on the right path. So, but
yeah, and he says like, we've lost a battle, but you haven't lost a war. Like he's fighting to stay positive, but he's having a hard time at it.
See, when he said some guys bury their hopes beneath disrooted trees, that part to me was kind of like a little bit different, because when we're talking about disrooted trees, you know what I think of? You remember that spot that we used to go like hang out at together where there was a fallen tree? It was like,
yeah,
right by that tree. I think of that. I was thinking of that spot.
Yeah.
And like, if you buried something under a deeply rooted tree, you would never be able to get it again. But if you buried something underneath one of those, like the root system doesn't go there anymore, so it's still accessible. So there's also like a flip. Some guys bury their hopes beneath disrooted trees. Like, well, do you want to bury hope so deep that you can never find it again, or do you want to put it somewhere where it's still within your reach?
Yeah, there's lots of ways to look at it, dear listener. Here's what natural law says: to find a Buddha, all you have to do is see your nature. Nice shirt. Look at that design of that avatar. That's pretty crazy. It's like 15 stars or something there. 8.8.
Okay, so by what the song is about, like I would go with like probably like an 8.7.
Mm-hmm.
But what I felt during the music part, I would play this one again. I was creating my own song in there. Not that it like rhymed and like sounded amazing, but like it was good for me. So I really liked it. I'm giving it a 9.3.
I already gave my score.
Shout out to Middle.
All right, guys, we are coming back on the other side of the break. Shout out to the big homie Middle Earth.
We'll be
Yeah,
right back.
I agree, Python. Lyrics were crazy on this one. Commercial break, right back.